name is Desmond Miles. I'm a prisoner of war. A war I never knew existed, waged by two groups I never thought were real. Templars and Assassins. The Animus showed me the truth. The things I've seen, the things I've been. 1,000 years of history flowing through my veins, brought to life by this machine. They're using it. Using me to search for something. Call it the Apple. It's an artifact, one of many so-called pieces of Eden. Templars collect them. It's how they stay in power. And if the Templars get their hands on another one, everything will change. They want to make us all their slaves. When they first brought me here, I was afraid of what would happen if I tried to fight back. Now? Now I'm afraid of what will happen if I don't. But I can't do it alone. And maybe I don't have to. I met someone. Her name is Lucy. I think she's on my side. She's gone now. She's taken away by that bastard Warren Vidic and his Templar masters. I don't know what will happen to her, or what'll happen to me. All I know is I need to get out of here. And I need to do it soon. My name is Desmond Miles, and this is my story.
I chose the game Assassin's Creed 2 developed by Ubisoft Montreal, Gameloft and Kryptonite Games because video games appeal to me. The Assassin's Creed series is a study of the abuse of power through history, and it revolves around the subject Desmond Miles, who was captured by the secret megacorporation Abstergo Industries. Using the Animus, a virtual reality machine, Desmond is forced to relive the memories of his ancestors, who were all assassins, to assist Abstergo in their analysis of information on the Assassin Order, and to recover artifacts called the Pieces of Eden. Eventually, Desmond is freed from incarceration by another character, Lucy, who helps relocate the mission's starting point. At his hideout, Desmond is introduced to assassin allies Sean and Rebecca, who have access to an updated version of the Animus, which is used to continue Desmond's journey and personal objectives of improving his assassination skills through the Animus exposure. In this scene of Assassin's Creed, the creators use pathos, which is defined as a quality within a text which evokes or stimulates sympathy in the viewer. The night before the execution, Ezio gave evidence to counter the charge of conspiracy leveled at his family to Umberto, a trusted ally of the Auditores, which resulted in betrayal. In applying this technique, the creators used emotive language in both the linguistic and visual form to express the emotional pain of the characters, which was particularly evident in this scene.
Founder of the Republic. State attenti. Next week's public mass with the Cardinal will have to be cancelled due to a small outbreak of plague. Pray for his recovery and the confinement of the Red Death.
Giovanni Auditore, you and your accomplices stand accused of the crime of treason. Have you any evidence to counter this charge?
Yes, the documents that were delivered to you last night.
I'm afraid I know nothing of these documents.
He's lying!
Need to get closer.
In the absence of any compelling evidence to the contrary, I am bound to pronounce you guilty. You and your collaborators are hereby sentenced to death.
You are the traitor, Roberto, and one of them. You may take our lives this day, but we will have yours in return, I swear! We will! Father!
There! Grab the boy! He's one of them!
Although the game is played from a third-person perspective, the dialogue is spoken in both first and third person. Pathos is shown through the dialogue of Umberto, the main speaker against the Auditores. To portray a man of high class, the game designers use formal dialect to make Umberto the prosecutor and Pope of their time more realistic. As the family lines up for their death, they plead in an informal manner. Because the player is Ezio and is controlling his moves and decisions in the game, the player feels a deeper connection to this particular character as his life takes a dramatic turn. This event helps the audience to recognize the impact of abusive power at the time of the incident, It also stimulates a sense of curiosity in the gamer as they wonder which direction Ezio's path will take them, the audience, after this life-changing occurrence. Throughout Assassin's Creed, the designers use rhythm, which is defined as a combination of syllables in a way words are presented to form a set pattern or create an effect. The creators express these rhythmic patterns through the music and sound effects of the game rather than a poem or lyric that is found in various other mediums. In applying this technique, the developers use a range of instrumentation that would be used in a horror film, such as the sharp piercing sounds of violins, the strong pounding of drums, and the gradual crescendo as the scene escalates. An example of strong music use is when Ezio runs from the enemy guards.
Abattetelo. Better run, boy. And fast.
A drumming pattern is played that impersonates a heartbeat which stimulates the heart of the player, causing an adrenaline rush. The player feels targeted and victim-like, thus reinforcing the need to escape the oppressors. This emotion also stimulates an understanding of powerlessness, as the Pope abuses power over the judgment of the court. Sound effects are used notably throughout the game to create realism as they connect the reality of the player to the gaming world through familiarity. The most common sound effects include footsteps, grunts, heralds and crowds, weapons used during battle such as unsheathing blades, clashing of swords and armor. I particularly noted the sound effects in this scene where it shows the sound of gripping when climbing walls, splashing of water, seagulls chirping when you are close to the loading docks. Another effect is the futuristic sound underscoring the main title and creating a reminder that you are playing from the present into the past. The setting and use of historical context is a significant technique found in Assassin's Creed, as it is used to create the storyline. In this case, we are set in the main cities of Italy from 1476 to 1499. This game is inspired by historical events of the Renaissance, including well-known historical places, like the Santa Maria del Dio, basilicas, blacksmiths, and banks. The use of historical context creates the bond between our reality and the game, which can further inspire or uphold some interest for the game. There is a boundless use of historical icons in this game, including people like Leonardo da Vinci, a well-known painter, inventor, scientist, and so on of their time, the Medici brothers, two nobles, one of whom was a ruler of Florence, and the Pazzi conspirators, a group who attempted and half succeeded in the assassination of the Medici brothers. The creators also use symbolism defined as something that on the surface is literal, but which also has another meaning. The first note of symbolism is in the main title. This part of the menu can be seen as just DNA, but its twisting movements which wind in a continuous manner represent the twists of time. Other symbols within Assassin's Creed are the eagle and its relation to Ezio and the eye in the triangle. The eagle has significant relevance to Ezio. Not only does his name translate from the Arabic word meaning eagle, but Ezio also has a sixth sense called eagle vision, which allows him to see hidden doors, symbols, and differentiate between residents and targets. In the game, the eagle perched on the wood represents a viewpoint of synchronization and the allowance of my favorite move, the leap of faith. The eye within the triangle is a reference to God. It's a Christian version of the Eye of Providence, the Eye of God. The triangle emphasizes the Trinity. However, the makers of the game appear to be highlighting the Church's abuse of power throughout history. Because of their behavior, the meaning of Christianity and the central tenets, love thy neighbor as thyself, was lost. A technique produced by the game designers most common in role-playing games. is the use of character categories, the difference between playable and non-playable characters. Non-playable characters, sometimes known as non-person characters, are characters not controlled by the player, but are controlled by the computer through artificial intelligence. They fill any role not occupied by the playable character or those needed for the storyline. For example, Ezio and Desmond are the main playable characters. Leonardo is a type of non-person character, as he is not under direct control of the gamer. And then there are the extras, such as the guards or civilians.
Has he lost his mind?
The manner of the civilians and the guards is programmed to react as a reflection of those in power, especially when that power is challenged. When this balance of power is disturbed, the guards respond angrily and react instantly in combat. The civilians, however, respond in fear for their lives. They reflect the will of those with the highest level of power. An example of this fear is evident when the character is assassinated. The people of the town react in fright, fleeing from the scene. If the game reacts suspiciously, the civilians respond in concern or disgust.
Bizarre. What's with him?
The creators of Assassin's Creed 2 used techniques of pathos, rhythm, sound effects, setting, symbolism, and character manipulation to communicate their exploration of the abuse of power throughout history.